So I'm sure everyone saw my post about teaching, that it's not for me. Um, School started August 7th, and being a student teacher was easy in the beginning because you're just observing for the first like 3 weeks, and then they get you into it. But UNM put a lot of pressure on me. I think that's what really broke the camel's back, is that I was doing good. I was building relationships with my students. They loved me. They were responding to me. They were learning. They were engaged. Of course, there's some that don't like school. There's some that hate it. There's some that no matter what you do, it doesn't matter. um, but for the most part, they were good kids. I think I started at a big high school, and I think I shouldn't have done that because they even told me, some of the UNM people and some of the people at Cleveland High School even told me, like, starting at a big high school like this is probably it's hard. I mean, it's not like you just come in here and teach. I turned in my laptop today because I've been going over this decision in my brain for a while, like what I'm gonna do. And I was thinking, man, I work so hard, which I'm taking 3 classes. I didn't have to pay any tuition because the state paid the tuition. I mean, they gave me the money and I had to pay it, but the state was paying me a residency stipend, which was not very much. And I was struggling until next August until I actually make a teacher salary, which is still low compared to where I came from. So, um, I probably would have stuck with it. And if I came from a lower paying job than teaching, if I came from a lower, like if I came from a lot of people that become teachers, they come from like substitute teaching. They substitute full time, or they were an educational assistant, an EA, or they worked in the cafeteria, or something. So the teacher salary is really good for them. It's hard work though. People don't know. And then when I returned my laptop today, the lady that works in the with the Chromebooks and stuff, um, I returned the laptop and she's like, yeah, she goes, a lot of people don't know what it's like until they get in it. And it's good that you got out now instead of when you're deep in and then you're hating it and you're miserable and then you're already stuck because you're used to it and you're 5 years in and you're just like, oh, I guess I'll just stick with it. She goes, good for you. Good for you that you tried it, and good for you that you're honest with yourself that you didn't like it. It was hard. And she goes, I don't blame you. It's very, very hard, especially nowadays. She goes, it's very, very hard. You can't just come in and teach and leave. It's a lot more work to it. It's a lot. And I said, yeah. I said I was getting overwhelmed, and then she's like, yeah, they put the pressure on. UNM, I know the student teaching, they're very strict. Just even here at the school, there's a lot of pressure for everything. And I said, yeah, I felt a lot of pressure. Um, it just wasn't worth it to me. I mean, you got to think of what's worth it to you. What is worth it, you know? Um, I had an informal visit from the UNM supervisor. She just stopped in, which they have formal visits, they have observations, there's so many things, but this happened to be an informal visit where I didn't know she was coming. Informal. So she just shows up, and I thought everything was great. I was getting overwhelmed. I told my co-teacher, this is a lot. Taking over 3 periods right now is a lot. Because she would just be like, here's the papers for all 3 periods, fourth, fifth, and seventh. Here you go. Grade all these and take them home if you don't finish. And I would spend hours grading papers after school. I would come home grading on top of my UNM schoolwork. I mean, I would be grading until 8 o'clock, and I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore past 7. And then I wouldn't finish the grading because I had to go to bed by 7:30. I just wanted to lay down. 7:30 p.m. And then I wouldn't finish the grading. And then she's like, did you finish the grading? And no, I got tired at 7:30. I laid down. I was going to try to finish this morning, and it was too much pressure. It was just like, you got to finish the grading. You got to do this. You got to respond to the email within 5 minutes. You got to just, did you see the email from so and so? And then we get like, 20 emails in the morning when we get there. There's like 20, 30 emails already, and it's hard to keep track of everything. And I'm very, very good at keeping track of things. I'm very good about knowing what I have to do, but it was a lot and I couldn't keep up. And that's only student teaching. I had to come up with lessons, and just to design a lesson for 3 periods, because you got to come up with your own stuff. You can't just use a textbook. You can't just use the textbook and have them do worksheets and that's it. Like in the 90s, I thought it was like that. I mean, I honestly thought that I was just going to go teach them off the textbook and have them do worksheets and give them tests, just like we did in the 80s, 90s. It's not like that anymore. It's a lot of stuff. There's so many things online. The Chromebooks, it's all digital. A lot of teachers don't even use the textbook. You got to come up with your own activities because they feel like just using the textbook is the old way, the traditional way. You can't teach that way anymore. You can't. And even if you try, they'll write you out. The kids will end up saying, oh, with Miss V Hill, we're only learning off just the textbook. and some activities here and there, and then you get in trouble. And it's just, so by the time I planned some activities for 3 periods, I mean, it took me, and I had to write down, okay, warm up, 104 to 109, 5 minutes for the warm up, because you can't, it's a bell ringer. They come in and they do work for 5 minutes. And then you have to spend 5 minutes talking about it, about the warm up. These are the answers for the warm up, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to, you can't go over a certain amount of time for things. You can't just do what you want. You can't just teach. If they're learning la ropa, like right now, they're learning clothes, shirt, pants, socks, things like that. You can't just teach how you want in whatever time frame you want. You have to follow this strict thing that the New Mexico PED, which is the New Mexico Public Education Department, they have this strict curriculum you have to follow, the strict state standards, and you have to tie your lessons into those standards, and you have to spend a certain amount of time on each thing, and you have to get through a lesson in a certain amount of time, and then the progress reports are due at a certain amount of time. The IEP kids, the special needs kids, those are separate. You have to do a lot of work for that, paperwork, talking to case managers, and you have certain times to do that. And if you're grading, you have to just get up and go do it. Meetings with parents, talking to parents, emailing parents. I mean, it's just, I could have done it if I came from a lower paying job before teaching. I would have eventually learned how to do everything, considering if I would have passed UNM. UNM was strict. She was already like, you're behind. Anyway, long story short, that's what broke the camel's back, is that I was already getting overwhelmed. I told my co-teacher in confidence, hey, I'm getting overwhelmed. Like, taking over 3 periods is a lot. Planning lessons for all 3 periods, or even if I just do her lesson, because sometimes they let you do her lesson. And even if I just did her lesson that she made and then taught it, it was already hard, because they were already getting on me like, oh, you spent too much time in the warm-up. You spent 8 minutes. You're supposed to spend 5. And just little tiny little things. It was just like, and that's just teaching in general. That's just, I can't even, you guys don't even know what it's like until you're in it. And when I returned my Chromebook today, well, not my Chromebook, my laptop. The kids have Chromebooks, we have laptops. Anyway, the lady was like, yeah, she goes, a lot of people think they can just come in and teach the subject that they know, like Spanish, whatever it is. You come in and teach. It's not that easy. And I told her, yeah, I mean, I tried it. And she goes, you know what, Denise, you tried it. She goes, how long were you in your last job? They said that you were in your last job like 13 years. I said, yeah, I was a dealer in the casino industry for 13 years. And she goes, good for you. She goes, you know what you want. You left to go try something different. You learned. You didn't like it. And so what are you going to do? You can't force yourself to stay. It's not for everybody. And I told her, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not for everybody. I tried it. I'm always welcome back at my old job. And she goes, yeah, just do whatever makes you happy and whatever you think is best for you. And I said, yeah. So I said goodbye to my kids. So it was my idea to do that, because I just didn't want to leave them hanging. And this UNM supervisor had suggested it too, which I had already thought of it, but she was like, you should say goodbye to the kids. And I was like, no, yeah, I plan on going. So I brought them some candy that I had bought, gummy bears, and then like the Sour Patch Kids, like a pack, and they're individual little packets. And I brought some, and they were like happy that I brought those candies. It was funny. They were just like, I was like, I brought you guys. So as soon as I walked in, I didn't know what else to say. So I went there today at 1 o'clock for 7th period, and because 7th period was the first period I took over, like since late September. So I had been taking over that class longer. So I showed up for 7 just to say bye. And for the other periods, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to send my co-teacher, a video, and she's going to just show it to them. And that's good enough. So I returned my Chromebook, my badge. I did everything I had to do. I went to the school and did all that. Communicated with her when I returned my laptop, and she's like, good for you, just do what you want. Just try elementary. You have your credits. You're still doing your UNM classes. I said, yeah, I'm going to finish my UNM classes this semester. I'm still going to continue. She said, good. She goes, you have your classes. It's there if you ever want to. If you ever want to try elementary or anything different, it's always there. And I said, yeah, it's always there. It's not like, it wasn't a waste. It wasn't a waste, because I'm still finishing my classes. The classes will be on the transcript. I just have to continue where I left off, really. I mean, if I ever wanted to try it. So I tried it, and I realized that I don't think it's for me. Go back to where the casino, where 13 years, I was happy and comfortable. I went to work every day happy and comfortable, and I was making enough money to be happy, to support everything. And the rent nowadays is $2,500 oh my God, it's just, and then I got this new car, and Mac can only help me with so much. He's not God. I can't just be like, Mac, I'm just going to stay teaching, and I need you to pay all the rent and do all the, he can't do everything either. I mean, so it's a 50-50, you got to do what's best for you. So Anyway, I said goodbye to my kids and I have something for you guys. And she was like, I knew it. This one girl was like, I knew she was going to bring something for us. And um, I figured I'd bring them some candy. I mean, little cards. I was going to make them little cards, but then I'd have to make 180 of them and then they'd probably throw them away anyway, you know? All that matters is I showed up and I said bye. You know, I told them I love you all. And they understood. They were like, they knew. I mean, they're 14, 15 years old. They're not like little kids where they get real sad. I mean, I was surprised how good they were doing. I walked in and there was some kids from sixth period that were still there from sixth because I went in at the beginning of seventh period and the kids from sixth were still there. And she was going to write them a pass to be late to their next class. But anyway, there was like 4 kids from sixth that stayed because she had told them Miss Vihill's going to come and say bye to you guys at the beginning of seventh period on Thursday. I had already planned it. So that way the kids can plan to be there. If they're going to ditch, they're not going to ditch if they want to say bye to me. You know what I mean? So anyway, some kids from sixth, like 5 of them stayed from sixth and it was, I held my own. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. I held my own. I held my own throughout all this time, all the times that I was overwhelmed and all the times that my co-teacher was like, here, grade these papers, here, send this email, here, do this, do that. And I held my own every single time, even with the UNM supervisor. When she showed up, I think I got off topic earlier, but she showed up and just gave it to me. Informal visit, just showed up out of nowhere. You're not ready to take over 3 periods right now. You're supposed to be doing it. I was like, I am. I'm just telling you, like, it's overwhelming. It's hard. I need to go a little bit slower. They don't let you go at your own pace at UNM. You have to just do it what they want. 3 periods. By January, take over 4 periods. By February, take over 5 periods. By March, take over 6. All of them, doing everything. And you can't have any help. And she was like, you can't have any help in March. Your co-teacher, Kayla, she's not going to help you. She's just going to let you do it all by yourself. The grading, the emailing, the progress reports, the final exam, everything. You have to do it all by yourself and you better be ready. And I'm like, she let me have it. And I told her, you know, listen, I'm doing a really good job. Like I'm trying, I'm here, I'm taking over 3 periods, I'm getting overwhelmed, but I'm doing it. But there was no like good job. There was no like, oh, you're building relationships with the students. I heard you're doing great with that. The day I came and observed you, you were doing great. None of that. There was none of that like happy stuff. Like you're doing wonderful. You're learning. You're going to get there. You know, we're going to get you there. Teaching is hard. And she always says, this is a beast of a profession. She would always tell us in class, this is a beast of a profession. This profession's a beast. This profession's a beast over and over and over. And she just was very discouraging. And after all the work I saw that we're doing, and just as a student teacher, I was overwhelmed. Imagine being on my own. I went to last it. I don't think I could have done it. A lot of these teachers, they started a long, long time ago and it was easier, you know, and now it's hard nowadays. In 2024, it's hard. And a lot of those teachers have been there a long time and they've probably been teaching since the traditional classroom ways, textbook, workbook, tests. That's it. That was the old way. And a lot of them are just used to it. They're complacent. They've been there a long time. But anyways, it was pressure, a lot of pressure. And I just came to the realization that I was like, what am I doing? I can't do this. Like I was happy in the casino. I was there a long time. I was making good money. I was happy and comfortable. Um, and it's just the kids. There's a lot of bad kids. There's a lot of kids you have to deal with. It's just a lot. It's not easy at all. And I always thought it was just going to be easy. And everybody says it's not easy until you get into it. Until you see what and that's why my first co-teacher dropped me. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but like my first month, I think I was only in like 5 weeks and I can't do this. It's hard. All the work that I have to do as a teacher, being a teacher myself, and then having you as a student teacher, it's a lot of work for me. And I didn't see what she meant until now. I mean, I'm 4 months in. I mean, we started July 31st was the first day for meetings and all that. And then the kids started a week later, but I gave it a good 4 months, which is a long time. Mac is proud that I lasted this long because I told him I was getting overwhelmed and I was thinking, should I stay for the kids? It's hard work, but I love these kids. Should I stay for the kids? Should I stay for the kids? And it's like, he's like, babe, are they your kids? I mean, you have Marina to worry about, you know, you can't worry about other people's kids. And then I was crying because that girl's dad committed suicide on Veterans Day. I cried all the way home. I was depressed till Saturday night. I was depressed all Friday night and all Saturday because of her with her dad. And it was just so much mental stuff. I was like, oh my God, it's just, and all the pressure from UNM and then all the work. And then my co-teacher was just like, here's the work, do it. Like, you need to be doing this by now, and I need to be leaving the room when you're teaching. I said, well, leave the room if you have to leave the room when I'm teaching. Just leave the room. It was just too much pressure. They don't make it easy for you because it's a beast of a profession, according to them at UNM, and you got to get in there and do it. and do everything that they want and follow the state standards, and the ped has all these rules, and there's I was behind. I mean, I wasn't on track, and I don't know if I would have ended up getting dropped. I feel like I would have ended up getting dropped because it's a beast of a profession and you have to do it. You have to do, oh my God, I can't even explain all the stuff. It's a lot of stuff. I couldn't keep up. It was like, I told Mac, it's like being the director of a casino. It's like being the CEO of a casino and managing all those people. I mean, how many employees are in a casino? A lot more, but I mean, 180 kids, 30 kids each period, that's 180 kids. You're basically managing 180 people, little people, attendance, everything. I mean, everything, progress reports, final exam, like just everything, emails, meetings. And then you have to keep up with the times. The smart board, I had trouble figuring out that smart board. I went to school in the 90s. I don't know anything about smart boards. And then she kept getting on me. You need to learn the smart board. You need to learn how to do it. And I learned a lot of things, but if they would have been a little bit more patient with me, like, hey, she'll get there. They just wanted me to do it now. You got to learn now. You got to learn now. You got to learn now. I'm like, oh my God. And then I look at the pay that I was getting this year just for student teaching. It was very little because they give you very little for student teaching. And then next year, it's still a lot less than I was making in the casino. And overall, it's just, I was weighing with the decision, and overall I decided what I'm going to do. So I'm happy I turned in everything today, the laptop, the badge. I said goodbye to the kids. I brought them some candy. They were very happy. They didn't ask me any questions. They understood. And I wasn't going to tell them where I was going or what I was doing. I was just going to say it's a career change. I've made a lot of career choices in my life. You guys are going to make the career choices as well. And when you graduate high school, there's going to be a lot of choices you have to make. And it's just one of those things. And I love you all. And I just have to go on with a different career choice, because it's just part of life, And I love you all, and make good choices, and stay strong, and stay in school, graduate high school and work hard and be nice to your teachers, And I told them that. And they were like, they understood. They didn't ask me any questions. I was shocked that they knew I was going back to the casino. I was shocked because, so after I did my little spiel, like stay in school, graduate high school, work hard, high school diploma, you need a high school diploma for any job in the world, and I love you guys, and you guys are very intelligent, smart people, and you guys are going to go places, and you're going to be the best you can be in life. I can feel it. You guys are very smart kids, and so after I was done with all that, they said, Miss Vigil, what casino are you going to be at? It was so cute. So I guess she had already told them I was going back. It was just funny. So I didn't know that they knew that, but that's okay. Oh, and we're old enough. We'll go see you. I was like, yeah, I'll probably still be there. I told them I'll probably still be there. So I felt good that I went. I was dreading going because I didn't want to see their little faces again, but you got to do what's best for you. You tried it. I tried it, and I just couldn't do it. I don't think I could have kept up. And a lot of teachers can't. They lose a lot of student teachers just with the UNM information they've given me. And it's better. A lot of them quit during the internship because they realize, like, they don't realize how hard it is until they do it. And then they told me some of that. They told us when I started this residency, like, a lot of people don't make it through the residency. It's very, very hard. We'll get you there, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people end up leaving before they complete the residency. And I thought, well, how can they leave when they're going through all this work? How do they just leave? Well, now I see it. It's hard. But that's why they have this internship. And I don't think they had that before, because you would just apply for the job for a teacher. You have your degree, you have your license, you apply and you do it. Student teaching was very, very minimal back in the day. It used to be like 2 weeks or something. And now it's a year-long rigorous internship residency. They want to make sure that because it's very, very hard. So, and the UNM lady was like, yeah, well, you made that decision now, and it's better that you made it now during your residency than when you're on your own. Because to quit mid-profession when you're on your own, that would have been very hard. And she goes, I wish you the best of luck. It makes a lot of sense that you're doing it for financial reasons. If it wasn't for you, it's a lot of work. She goes, it's a beast of a profession. And they kept saying that. It's a beast. And a lot of people can't do it. And at least you tried. You got to give yourself a pat on the back that you tried. And I told her, yeah, I did. I tried. So everybody was happy that I tried. They wished me well, and everybody understood. And so it's all good. I'm going to go back to the casino, and 13 years. I mean, I tried. I tried. I tried a lot of things. I went to Vegas and tried it, came back. I always wanted to deal in Vegas. I went to Vegas for a year, didn't like it, came back. I mean, hey, you tried? life is short. You got to try new things. So kudos to me for working so hard, and my UNM classes are still there. I still have them. I'm still going to finish this semester, 2 more weeks, and I have all those classes on my transcript still for life. So there's always other times if I needed to try elementary or whatever, or try preschool or try another high school, or there's always options later on in life. So I'm very, very happy I feel good that I did what I had to do and I did it all the right way. So, okay, bye.